Hey, welcome back to the lovely outpost of Frosthaven, where I am probably going to spend the next like 3 or 4 hours doing a single outpost phase, because there's a lot to do here, it turns out. And I'm just going to record this with no cuts, so that you can see it all. If you want to skip around to the parts that are most important to you, I will add chapter markers for when different things are happening, but I have 3 characters to retire, which means I also have 3 new characters to build. And then I guess there's probably some other stuff too. Let's start. We begin with the passage of time, which means I mark something here, and I go read section 156.1 in the section book. So already off to a great start. Where's the section book? 156.1. Fascinating, yes. Fascinating challenge. Oh, and an opportunity for the outpost, of course. The Quattro, wrapped in a thick green cloak, paces the floor of South's cabin, lost in thought as the mare looks on from her seat by a map-strewn table. Sotha raises a hand in greeting as you open the door, and the Quattro whirls toward you, startled. Oh, yes, perfect, perfect. You must be the ones Sotha mentioned. Pinter Droman, Tinker Extraordinaire, at your service. He bows with a flourish. Sotha clears her throat, cutting Pinter's introduction short. A recent landslide changed the landscape of the frozen pass, the mayor explains. Between the rocks that fell out of the way and the valleys they filled up, I think we can create a shortcut through the Coppernecks that could save days for supply teams and merchants coming across the mountains. You recall your own recent journey over the pass and agree you'd have appreciated a shortcut. That's the spirit, Sotha continues. A shortcut means more merchants bringing goods, and more goods means more outposters survive the winter. Pinter here is in charge of the engineering. Yes, Pinter jumps back in, unable to contain his excitement. The place we're looking to build, he points to a map on the table, is a landslide area that's almost clear of rocks. I've created explosive devices to help remove the rest, but the fauna of the area are quite aggressive. I can't get a team close enough to plant the charges. That's where you come in, Sotha explains. I told Pinter you're the only ones I trust to get those bombs where they need to be and handle yourself against the local animals. We'll have the charges packed and ready to go at dawn. You nod in turn to go prepare your own supplies, but Pinter interjects. And not to worry, the charges are completely safe, he says unprompted. I've learned so much since my unfortunate incident in Gloomhaven. Somehow his assurance does not increase your confidence. New scenario, work freeze 114. By the way, if you have no interest in this and want to just go to the next episode and see the next mission, I will explain in a bit more detail who the characters are in the next episode too. Work freeze. So this is a new thing that is unlocked. If I remember right, that is right here. Another mission that we can do. All right, that's passage of time. Next we do an outpost event. So outpost, new event. A Valrath man comes up to you in the street. Say, you spend some time outside the walls, right? Happen to come across any snow thistle? He speaks in a low voice and his hood makes it difficult to make out his face. Before you have a chance to respond, a portly woman rushes up with a broom, smacking the Valrath on the back. You again? Leave these people alone. The Valrath scurries off into an alley without another word. The woman turns to you, her hands on her hips. Valrath and snow thistle, am I right? For most people it's a garnish or medicinal. For them, well, they can't get enough of the stuff. Addicts. She mumbles to herself as she heads back into her home. You continue your walk, but hear the Valrath's voice down the alley. So, have any? I've got coin. I don't think I have any snow thistle. Do I really have 3 rock root? How? Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Anyway, I do not have any snow thistle, so we'll do option B, admonish the Valrath. Am I persuasive? Am I persuasive? So this is the first time I've had one of these, I believe. Yes, a Deathwalker is persuasive. All the characters have different personality traits. I have 2 characters who are persuasive, actually, and they help with resolving events sometimes. You offer encouraging words, reminding the Varath that his pursuits don't need to define who he is. He grumbles as he slinks down the alley. Consider what you said. So this just removes it from the deck, basically, which I guess is fine. I wonder if I have to remove it from the deck, or if it's possible to like choose not to if I'd prefer not to. I don't know. Anyway, building operations. So we go through our buildings. I have to put hides on Xenia Zephyr, so Xenia can retire, but the metal and lumber I will put on Muckduck. And then I was reading ahead a little bit, and I lose the gold when a character retires, so might as well use the gold on a character who is retiring to pay for this stuff. I'm about to lose 64 gold. 73 gold. Nice. Okay. That's all good. Oh, we should buy a soldier, probably. Collectively train one soldier. Costs 3 gold, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I probably don't need 7 lumber right now. Okay. That's all of my buildings done. Next, we do downtime. So, we must level up during the downtime step, and I guess I'll do it in order. So, let's level up Muckduck, because Muckduck made it to level 4. When I level up, I gain 2 experience, and I think the top of these are, yeah, that's level 3, level 2, and the other ones will be here. Level 4, level 4. What do we got? So, oh, and we take a perk. I might just turn a -1 into a +1 for my perk. That seems fine to me. Okay, so I've seen Everforward twice before now. It's for 2 at 3 range and gives self-regen, or bottom half heal 3 targets within 3 range for 1 each. Okay, sure. Fierce Barrage is a melee cone attack, although it doesn't hit for much, it's just 2. There must be something sweet in here. Gift of the Prey, if you kill an enemy with an attack for 3 at 3 range, you move the character token on one of your persistent abilities backward a slot, or a move for 4. If you kill an enemy this round, move character token on one of your persistent abilities backward 1 slot. That's kind of fun. Helps with my mastery that I'm working on. Chunk of Flesh. Hits for 2, heals for 2, moves a character token backwards, and the bottom half of it gives me shield 2 6 times. Gosh, I've gotten Drifter to level 4 once before, and I took Chunk of Flesh, and I sure understand why. Like, that just feels like it does so much more than the other things. Yeah, alright, well, Chunk of Flesh it is. I'll have to work out how to get that into the deck for the next mission. Is that my level up done? It felt kind of easy. Alright, easy. Character retirements. So, this is the first time I've ever retired a character. And I don't actually have to retire Xenia Zephyr, so I'm going to do that last, because we have to like craft and stuff first. All the stuff in downtime can be done in interchangeable order, so I can do all the stuff first. When I retire a character, all of the items that I have are put back in the supply, which means like I could distill a renewing potion and grab a snow thistle. now instead of just putting it back into the supply without getting anything out of it. These other items will just go back into the supply. Yeah, there's nothing really to be done about that. I don't get anything extra, but distilling potions is a thing that I can do to get one of the resources that went into making them back. Okay, when the character retires, sorry, we'll start at the top. If a character has fulfilled the requirements of their personal quest, they must retire during the downtime step, though they can perform all other downtime activities they would like before doing so. Having achieved what they set out to do, they are no longer motivated to explore the monster-filled wilderness. Retired characters can no longer participate in the campaign with the rest of the party. When a character retires, the completion of their personal quest gains the party 2 prosperity. 1, 2. And unlocks the building envelope specified on the personal quest card. Let's bring this over here. The study of plots. Open envelope 24. Sealed envelopes. Envelope 24. Okay. We personally collected 5 different types of herbs through loot tokens. What just happened? I unlocked a new building garden. Don't know what that is. I unlocked a new quest, Threat from the Deep. So that's a new personal quest. I unlocked a new rule sticker 10 on page 62. Garden. Once the garden has been built, the party may spend any 1 herb resource during the building operations step to affix a matching sticker to any plot. The garden starts with only 1 plot, but more plots become available at higher levels. Each plot can only have 1 sticker at a time, but any sticker can be covered by another sticker later. The garden will be harvested every 2 weeks or every week at higher levels when it is not wrecked. When the garden is harvested, for each plot with a sticker, the party gains 1 matching herb resource. Do not remove the stickers. When it's upgraded to level 2, make sure to keep its card in the same orientation within the building deck. Okay, so I have a new building available. I haven't built it yet. Also, I put a sticker in the rulebook. That's kind of cool. However, if I were to build it, it sounds like what it does is it lets me grow herbs. So if I wanted particular potions, I could grow the herbs that go toward making those potions, etc. Cool. What do I do next? I may spend 15 inspiration. I don't have 15 inspiration. Okay. Yep. The first time a character of this class retires during the campaign, flip their character mat over and find the section number found near the bottom of the back side. After the retiring character has resolved the completion of their personal quest, read the indicated section from the section book. Oh my god. Okay, yes. Okay. I thought I was doing this with the only character who wasn't retiring. The Easter Bone Shaper, retirement 70.2. My power is waning, the Bone Shaper says distractedly. The plane I draw life force from. It seems to be running dry. Give the Bone Shaper a quizzical look and they sigh with exasperation. It has nothing to do with me. These things just happen. Worlds and planes grow, live and die, just like you mortals. It just happens on a much larger time scale, so you don't notice it. I'm sure one day this plane will die as well. They stare into the sky for a moment, lost in thought. Regardless, I must leave for a time to search out a new vibrant plane to draw from. I should be back shortly. The Bone Shaper stands and begins to fade from sight before snapping back into focus and turning to you. Shortly for me, anyway. You may be dead by the time I return. They shrug and then disappear, and we add 89.3 to the calendar in 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 89.3. Very cool. Okay, I've done that. as characters retire, record them in the retirement table on the campaign sheet, noting the character name player. Okay. So this is player Ch2Ep3, character Bone Shaper. Oh, what? Oh, player. Okay, I see. Character is that. Player is player 3, I guess. Class Bone Shaper. Level 3. Perks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Masteries 0. I don't know if these columns matter for some reason later. I don't know, but I meant to write them down. And then, yep, when a new character is created, they gain 1 perk mark for each character previously retired by that player. So the next character will start with 1 perk mark, not a perk, but one of the perks toward having a perk, I believe. Let me actually check that, just like make sure. What is a perk mark? Perk mark 63. Oh, okay, never mind. So a perk mark is actually a full-on perk. A check mark is what I was thinking of. But yeah, okay. Actually, my next character will start with a full-on perk. Okay, that's pretty cool. Very good. Their character materials are put back in the corresponding tuck boxes. Their items are returned to the available supply. Their resources are moved to Frosthaven supply, and their gold is lost. So resources move to Frosthaven supply. I'm actually going to make a note here. 6 lumber, 7 metal, 1 arrow vine, 3 rock root, 1 snow thistle. Yeah, because it would have taken me a while. It would have taken me several trips. 6 lumber, 7 metal, 1 arrow vine, 3 rock root, 1 snow thistle. Individual characters are allowed to take herbs out of the Frosthaven supply, but these building materials are only usable for buildings, or I guess like training soldiers and stuff. They're not usable for crafting items. The characters have to actually get those on their own in order to use them. They can't just pull them straight from the supply. Okay, and then we remove this character. Yeah, I guess we put all of these back in the available supply. And I kind of want to like keep the character sheet though, just because it's kind of nice to have, so we can remember. Then I click remove character. How do I remove you? Remove player. Right click to remove player. I'm sorry. The what? It looks like it broke at some point. Shoot. Well, that's gonna make this pretty awkward. I'm curious, I guess, whether I'm not gonna look at what Blink Blade is yet, but can I like drop Blink Blade here? Kind of. Okay, this seems like something I'm going to have to work out how to fix. Have I just like made it all happen again? Error in script global unknown error. Well, I successfully made them go away. We'll call it a win. Blink Blade comes out here. Add player. Blink Blade. Cool. I'm not going to read this right now, but that's going to be my new character once I get to it. I have other characters to retire first, though. So that was one character retirement. Now let's do it all again. We gain 2 prosperity. Oh, can I sell potions again? I can get perhaps a corpse cap and an arrow vine. Corpse cap and an arrow vine seems fine. Put all these items back in supply. And grab dangerous game. I wonder if it's because I moved this. I wonder if that's why it broke. If it was, I'm doing it again. Okay. Oh, I don't need this anymore, right? What do I do with it now? Where would you like me to put it? I don't know. I'll just put it here, I guess. Doesn't seem that I need it for anything else. Dangerous game. Kill 2 Elgox guards, 2 lurker claw crushers, and 2 robotic bolt shooters, and then open envelope 44. First though, I believe I gained 2 prosperity. Okay. Now I open it. Why does it all have to be like that? Anyway, I unlocked Enhancer. I unlocked a new quest. And I unlocked 2 new rule stickers, page 62 and page 67. So let's go to page 62. Purchase enhancements is now a thing I can do in downtime. On page 67, this is explained. Enhancements for ability cards can be purchased by interacting with the enhancer building. Characters purchase an enhancement by spending gold from their personal supply equal to the enhancement's calculated gold cost. The purchasing character takes a matching enhancement sticker and adds it to an ability card in their pool. The sticker represents a permanent enhancement for that ability. Enhancement stickers must be placed on enhancement marks. There are 5 different types of enhancement marks, which have different restrictions for the types of enhancement stickers that can be added to them. Square can only receive a +1, but if directly attached to a non-summon move ability, the mark can receive a jump sticker instead. Okay, so a +1 or a jump. Sure. Circle. This type of mark can receive any square enhancement sticker or any element sticker. Cool. Diamond can receive any square or circle enhancement sticker or any negative condition sticker. Diamond plus. Okay, so diamond is negative conditions as well. Diamond plus is positive conditions as well. Hex can only receive a hex sticker. Treat any enhancement dot on a Gloomhaven, Forgotten Circles, or Drawers of the Lion ability card as a diamond, diamond plus, or hex enhancement mark. Once an enhancement has been added to an ability card, it is never removed. Even after a character has been retired or abandoned, enhancements added to their ability cards persist for all subsequent characters of that class. For all enhancement costs, see Appendix D on page 77. Move +1 30, attack +1 50, range +1 30, target +1 75, shield, retaliate, pierce, heal, push, pull, teleport. What? Teleport +1? Oh, I see. So this is what it costs to put a +1 on one of those types of things. Gotcha. Summon HP, +1, summon move, summon attack, summon range. Okay. Regenerate, ward, strengthen, bless, wound, poison, immobilize, muddle, curse. Curse costs 150 gold. Damn. Element or wild element, jump. Area of effect hex, 200 gold divided by the number of existing hexes. Rounded up. Area of effect hex. I wonder when. Each type of enhancement has a base cost which is determined by the following cost chart. The cost might then be modified based on which ability is being enhanced. If applicable, apply the following cost modifiers one at a time in order. If the ability targets multiple figures or tiles, double the cost. Okay. So if an ability targeted like 4 things, it would still only be double cost. If the action has a lost icon but no persistent icon, halve the cost. If the ability provides a persistent bonus, whether or not the action has a lost icon, triple the cost. It does not apply to summon set enhancements. Triple the cost. So getting like attack +1 on my drifters thing that makes it so your attacks deal +2 damage. So now they deal +3 damage would cost 150. For each level of the ability card above level 1, add 25. For each enhancement already there, add 75. Wow. That's a lot of gold. Some enhancements do not fall neatly into the categories on the cost chart. When determining their base cost, treat damage traps as +1 damage enhancements, healing traps +1 healing enhancements, movement of tokens and tiles as +1 move enhancements. Okay. Sure. Back to the outpost phase. After retirement, I've read the rules, I've unlocked the building. I think now I put the stuff in the town supply. A wood and a metal. And then I press remove character. Is the problem maybe if I sit at this location, can I now remove? No. So I have to try to do the thing that I did last time. Does anybody know what the thing was that I did last time? We're getting a Geminate. That's the next class. And we're going to add a new player. This should make all of it on top of the other stuff. Have like collision. Then I want to remove it. Okay, okay. So that actually does work. Wait, this box is just here and I can't click it anymore. That's kind of wild. All right, we're going to add a new player. We're going to add a Geminate. I think the Geminate might have 2 tokens attached to it. Nope, maybe not. Melee, ranged, melee. Okay, well, I don't know what that means, but we will find out at some point. I got my 2 prosperity. Yeah. So next up, Zania Zephyr. I need 2 more helmets. Let's go retrieve all of these and then put them all out again and sort them. So I need 2 hats. This one and this one. Feels fine to me. That requires 2 metal. Then I need 2 more chests. I'm already at 4 out of 4 small items. So for that, we want crude chain armor and a traveling cloak. That's the only way we can do that. Because we can't buy anything with gold yet. I still don't have the ability. Okay, so a metal and a hide. And now I have 3 out of 3 chests. I need 2 boots. And that's going to be flexible slippers and... Hold on. Yes, I think this is okay. Crude boots. And all of my hides done. And 3 out of 3 boots. And then my hands. Crude shield. Okay, that finishes the merchant class quest. Hold on though. I need to actually make a note in the logs, don't I? My Deathwalker actually reached 150 experience. I'm going to record it as level 4 even though I didn't go through the leveling up process, because like I could have if I wanted to. Here, I will also click on, I don't know, that, maybe. Player 4, character Ch2Ep3. Class Deathwalker. Level 4. Perks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mastery is 1. Okay. Excellent. I forgot Deathwalker. I meant to also read this. Retirement 53.3. Ever since the Deathwalker decided to stop heading out on missions, they've been wandering the streets of Frosthaven, muttering to themselves about lost souls. Finally stop them and ask what the meaning of it all is. There are just so many dead who still linger, the Deathwalker laments. Those who have fallen in battle, those who were taken by the cold. They must be properly put to rest, but I don't know how. He mentioned the makeshift graveyard outside of town, and the Deathwalker shakes their head. It's insufficient, woeful. The dead placed there don't get the proper respect, piled into holes like garbage, unless... The Deathwalker's expression changes. Yes, I must go talk to Satha immediately. We must improve the graveyard, give the dead their due respect. Oh my, there's so much work to do. We move in the direction of Satha's cabin faster than you've ever seen them move. Hopefully, something good comes from it. At 176.4 in the second week of next summer. 176.4. Alright, cool. Goodbye, Ch2Ep3. It's been fun. And then, yeah, we have completed our merchant class quest. I think in this case I don't get to sell the potions because I'm actually using them to retire. We get two prosperity. 1, 2. That gave me 2 at once, right? Yeah. And we open envelope 37. I guess there are only 10, 14. You're probably limited in how many characters can actually retire, huh? At some point I will not be able to anymore. Anyway, envelope 37 for our merchant class. I'm guessing this unlocks a merchant. Yes, the trading post is now an accessible build. So I've unlocked trading post, I've unlocked End the Trickery, a new rule sticker on page 62. Purchase items. Items can be purchased by interacting with the trading stall building. Characters purchase an item by spending gold from their personal supply equal to the item's gold cost. Purchasing character gains 1 copy of the purchased item. Any item in the available purchasable supply can be purchased. However, during each outpost phase, collectively, the party can only purchase a number of items equal to the trading stall's level. Items purchased with starting gold upon the creation of a new character do not count toward this limit. Okay, so if at some point I happen to have enough gold to actually buy items, I can do that. I think out of all of this, the thing that makes the most sense to build right now is probably the garden. It's the garden or upgrade craftsman. Upgrade craftsman to see a few more items. Because I can't really afford any of this other stuff, I don't think. It just all costs 1 billion gold. How am I gonna spend that much gold? Too much gold. Anyway, retiring a character. We did merchant class. We should grab this. I'm confused. Bugging out a little bit. All right. Zania Zafir. Put our resources into town. 1 axe nut and 3 lumber. We can note here, player 1, Zania Zafir. Class, Banner Spear. Level 3. Perks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 mastery. What else do? I have to put all of these back in the item supply. Just as well. Not really surprising that the one who wanted to become a merchant became a merchant, huh? That one's not. That one wasn't really a, like, huge plot twist. I wonder if I'm just never going to be able to click on that. Wait, I've right clicked on it. Nice. Okay, it's dead. Oh, that's all my retirements, yeah? I need to read this again. $50.2. You walk into the barracks to find the Banner Spear speaking intently with Captain Olmsted. They wrap up some paperwork and the Banner Spear walks over to you. Friends, good to see you. I just finished enlisting formally in the town guard. They note your surprise. I thought about relaxing and enjoying retirement, but frankly, the regiment could use some of my experience to help prepare for the next attack. Guard steps up to hand them town guard armor and they politely refuse. No, thank you, I've got my own. Oh, just a moment. Before the guard can walk off, the Banner Spear snatches the Frosthaven insignia off the tunic, attaching it to their own chest plate. There we are. Feels fitting to be part of something larger again. Good luck out there, and I'm sure we'll see each other on the battlefield soon. We add 1+20 card to the town guard deck. I don't know how to do that. Okay, here we go. There are some available cards here. This is a +20, and we put it into the deck. Perfect. Is that all? Did I do it? I think I successfully retired some characters. How close are you to retiring? You have 55 gold here. We're at prosperity 2, so you need 120 gold. In items, you have 40 is what I have written here. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's 14 put together, so 30. Yeah, 40. So that's 95. Could I get 25 gold on you? I have 12 resources here, so I could craft and sell. I might be able to retire Mukduk as well. It's really close because these resources, they're worth 2 gold each. Is there something with wood in it? That's hide. I need an item that only costs wood. Oh, wood and metal. Does that work? Don't I have the same number of wood and metal? No. Not quite. Is there a wooden hide item though? Wood hide and rock thing? I think I can use one of those from the town supply. I can also retire my drifter actually. I did not realize this, but I absolutely can. We have a ship of whatever that Greek guy's name was situation going on here. My entire team has just retired. Okay, so let's just commit. Do I even have? I do have 4 other character classes. Okay. So 14 gold from these two. $69, nice. 4 gold here, 4 gold here, 4 gold here, 4 gold here. Another 16. It's another 10. Now all of these items are sold. I should just real quick make sure that I'm not losing my mind, maybe. In downtime, I just want to make sure I'm allowed to sell items. Yes. And I'm allowed to craft items at the same time? Yes. And it doesn't say I can only craft 1 item per town phase or anything like that. Okay, so I believe I showed already that I can turn these into 26 if I use a rock rib, but let me just show you to make sure we're on the same page. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use this. And so 5 times I'm going to buy, and then... Oh, no, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. I need wood and hide. I have 1 extra wood. What do you make out of wood? You could use this and this instead. That would work. Wait. So 5 times I'm going to craft and then sell crude spear. Each time gains me 2 gold. So 105. Wait. That super intensely wasn't enough. No, each time gains me 4 gold. I'm sorry. Each of it's 2 resources and they sell for 2 each. So 4. Then I'm going to craft dancing slippers with hide, not a wood, a hide and a snow thistle, which I'm going to grab from town supply. And then sell that. And then I'm going to craft and sell a crude bow. 121 gold. I need to have 80 plus 20 times L gold in your possession, where L is prosperity level. And guess what? I do. Okay. My oh my. This was probably not good for the campaign. In fact, this is terrible for the campaign. I'm going to have a full level 1 party next mission when I could have had a level 4 drifter instead of a level 1 character, which would have made my party a lot stronger, right? I'm trying to think of a reason why what I've just said isn't true and can't. I guess what this does is it gets me closer to retiring the next character faster, and also it gets my new characters leveling up faster. That's all I've got for you. Okay, I am at prosperity level 2. Just barely. I'm about to be prosperity level 3. Okay. Yes. So we open envelope 37. Is 37 already open? 37 is already open. Alternately 74. Which one was 37? I think it was probably the merchant. Like, that kind of would make sense, right? Anyway, we got 74 instead. Fascinating. Okay. I have unlocked a tavern and a new quest, but no rules this time. What's a tavern? I want to build it. That sounds great. I want to hang out in a tavern. Okay. And we retire and we blah 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 blah. What a wild, wild outpost phase. Okay, so Muck Duck was level 4 with 1 mastery and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 perks. Did I say 7? I think I said 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I wonder, when you're checking 2, does it only count as 1? I'm going to count it as 2. Was there anything else to do here? Yes, I have to read the retirement quest blurb thing. Put these all back. Retirement 48.3. One day the drifter is living with you in your longhouse, and the next day they are gone. No goodbye, no indication of where they are going. You noticed them growing more and more restless recently, clearly harboring a desire to strike off back into the wilderness. They appear to have accomplished what they set out to do in Frosthaven, so now must have been as good a time as any. Maybe you'll see them again out on the road, or maybe this chapter of your journey together is simply over. 38.1 in 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 138.1. A lot of stuff happening there. I guess that's the end of summer, so yeah. Okay. Holy moly. Let's see if we can work out how to get a snow dancer in here. Add player, snow dancer. But then also but then also remove player. Something very buggy is happening there, huh? Add player snow dancer. And then I am grabbing a trapper. And these are all the classes I have unlocked. So if these retire, I will have to work out what I'm gonna do. It's so funny. I can't, like, it's just very funny. Right? Okay, Trapper. Come on. Okay, it's only been 50 minutes so far. We're actually making relatively good time. So now I need to read the rules about creating new characters, because I sure retired some. We have 4 new buildings to build, but I don't know if I have any money. Create a character. After a player retires their previous character, or if they simply wish to try something else, they can create a new character during the downtime step. If their previous character has not yet been retired, the player can either set the character aside to play again later or abandon the character. When set aside, their stuff is kept. Okay. When creating a character, a player may choose any class without an active character. This includes classes that have already been played during the campaign. Yep. New character draws 2 personal quests, choosing one to keep and shuffling the other back into the deck. Possible for the personal quest deck to get depleted when this happens. Any new characters created during the campaign do not receive personal quests and cannot ever be retired. Players can still set aside or abandon such characters whenever they wish. New character starts with 10 times P plus 20 gold, where P is the current prosperity level. Must be spent immediately on items in the available purchasable supply. Any unspent remainder is lost. New character gains a number of perk marks equal to the number of characters previously retired by that player during the campaign. Then there's prosperity leveling. Since a new character always starts at level 1, they may immediately level up without meeting the experience requirement, even multiple times, as long as their level does not exceed half the current prosperity level rounded up. So if I had one more prosperity check, because I'm 1 short of 3 right now, these could all start at level 2, which, like, I don't know. Is that good? I don't know. Okay. I feel like we should go in the order that I actually retired the characters in when drawing personal quests. So first up, let's go through this very slowly. These are new characters. I have read the Blinkblade before, but I have not like gotten to a point where I understand the cards or anything like that. But I have so much appreciation for all the different stuff in this game, so I'm here to enjoy this and take my time. I'm not gonna rush through it at all. Quattrolls typically don't like being underestimated. They are smaller than the other peoples they encounter, yes, but that doesn't mean they are worth any less. If anything, they will go out of their way to show they are worth more. Their scientific institutions on the eastern continent have developed a myriad of technological advancements, bionics, and prosthetics used to enhance their own capabilities. There are even vague records that long ago the Quattrolls' scientific research led them to the north to hunt for its secrets, but these facilities have long since fallen to ruin. Wait, wasn't there like a Quattroll library that I just chose not to go to? I think so. The fact of the matter is that the cold is not a forgiving climate for one so small. If a Blinkblade were to travel north, it may be because they have nowhere else to go. Or perhaps there is some quarry to be found. Blinkblades are assassins, after all. Equipped with experimental temporal drives, they can alter the flow of time, moving faster than the eye can see and striking harder than a creature 10 times their size. Such actions can only be performed in short bursts, however, and there is always a cost to such great power. Very strong melee, very strong mobility, a little bit of range, a little bit of control, no support or defense, supposedly. Okay. How complex did it say it was? 5. Okay. At the start of each round, before card selection, even when long resting, you must declare whether you are fast or slow for the round. If fast is declared, remove 1 time token from the left. Fast cannot be declared if there are no time tokens present. If slow is declared, add 1 token as 1 time token to the left up to a maximum of 2 tokens. Slow can still be declared even if it would not add any time tokens. Okay. Start each scenario with 1 time token at the top of the track to the left, while only up to 2 can be accumulated on this map from declaring slow, up to 5 can be accumulated through abilities. All the effects and abilities written in the fast and slow sections of your ability cards are mandatory. Your initiative for the round is also dependent on whether fast or slow is declared. We start with 8 HP, although we seem to go up at 1.5 per level instead of only 1. Wait a second, yeah. 8 is... Oh, that's kind of interesting. I think 8 is what Banner Spear starts at, but Banner Spear goes up at 2 per level instead of 1.5. We are educated, nimble, and resourceful. Let's take a look at our card pool then. That I don't want to know about yet. This I don't need to read just yet. Let's just grab these cards, hold them down here, and take a gander at what we can do. I'm going to try to sort these vaguely by initiative value, I think. Oh my god, we can go at 2 initiative. That seems kind of fast. Is this character steampunk? Is this what steampunk means? I feel like this might be what steampunk is. So these are the cards, which are beginning unlocked at level 1. I'm starting with the fast cards because I've just noticed that a lot of turns in this game, like the slower cards tend to have larger effects. I don't know if that's always true, but it feels like it's often true. And so a lot of the time you want to pair a fast card with a slow card because it is important for you to go fast. But you don't want to do nothing in your turn. And so you use one fast card and then one slow card. And so the fast cards feel kind of like mandatory and then the slow cards are your nice payoff. I don't know. Anyway, borrowed time. On your next 6 actions while slow, ignore slow effects and perform immobilize something within range 3 at the end of the action. Oh, and we also have the drifter mechanic. Okay. Unexpected. I thought that was a mechanic just for drifter, but fair enough. All allies add -1 to their move abilities this round. If I go fast, I make my allies move slower. But I get to move X, where X is twice the number of my allies. So I could move, well, it's not just allied characters, huh? It's allied everything. I could move like forever, potentially. Okay. Like in map 1 where we had 5 city guard allies, I could have moved 16 tiles without counting the banner or the skeleton summons or anything. Okay, so that's like a kind of interesting move card. The slow version of it also just like leaves me standing still. I think the thing I probably most care about is how characters deal damage. Experimental adjustment. I take 2 damage. All enemies within 2 range suffer 1 damage, and I become invisible. Or if I'm slow, it's all enemies, because you can only debuff enemies, I think. All enemies within 2 range get muddled and immobilized. Okay. I don't feel like dealing myself 2 damage to make enemies take 1 damage is that great. I guess if there was an enemy on 1 health, it could be. Bottom half of the card, I move 2 and loot if I'm fast, or I move 4 and immobilize myself if I'm slow. That's kind of weird. Why do I move further if I'm slow? But then I immobilize myself. This is a very, very confusing character so far. Power leak. I attack for 4. If I don't have poison, I gain poison to add another target and gain an experience. Wait, this card is obscene. It doesn't burn? Okay. So I found one of the like payoffs. I have a 17 initiative card that attacks for 8 damage and poisons me. Cool. Bottom half of the card moves 7. Wow. Or I can move 3 and heal everyone within 1 range for 2. Oh, the bottom half of the card does burn though. So, okay. The top half of this card, just like attacking for 8, that seems very good. Cascading reaction. We attack for 3, move 3, attack for 3. This reminds me a little bit of the Drifter, some of this stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure the Drifter had a card that was very, very similar. If we're going fast, we also wound whatever we're hitting. If we're going slow, we don't move quite as far. Either way, we burn the card. Like, why would you ever give a character a card that could attack for 3 twice in the same turn? Right? Like, that would just be obscene. What's the bottom half of the card? Move 4, 1 less if we're slow. If we're fast, all allies add +1 to their move. Abilities that move from a hex adjacent to us to a hex not adjacent to us. Okay. So we like run into the enemies and then we come back with this so that our allies can move faster or something? I don't really know. Flurry Jab. Hit for 3. If we're fast, we hit for 4 and wound and get experience. If we're slow, we hit for 2 and muddle the enemy. It's weird that, like, if we're slow, our initiative is worse, but we are tending to muddle or immobilize enemies, because those are things that you kind of want to apply this turn, it feels like. Because it's like, I guess the idea is you let the enemies move in and waste their turn, and then you move up to them and muddle them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Bottom half of the card, if we're fast, we move 5. If we're slow, we move 2, and an adjacent enemy suffers a damage. I wonder if there's a payoff to dealing 1 damage to enemies somewhere, because so far, I don't really understand why that's good. Twin Strike. Attack for 2, move, and gain experience. Attack for 3. Wait a second. Is this character just kind of broken? Even if I'm going slow, this still attacks for 3 damage with 2 attacks. And 2 attacks is great because our modifier deck becomes very good, and we're drawing 2 cards from our modifier deck. Bottom half of the card, move 3. If I'm slow, I only move 1. Add 2 pierce to all of your attacks this round and channel air, or heal self for 2 and channel earth. Cool. That seems like a staple card. That seems like very solid. Kinetic transfer. Move 2. If I'm slow, it's only 1. And then I attack for 2. If I'm fast, I push 3. If I'm slow, it's an attack. What do you mean +1 range? It isn't any range yet, so that doesn't even mean anything. I'm confused by that. That doesn't mean +1 target, right? No. +1 range? What? But I think that might mean that it turns into a ranged attack instead of a melee attack, but can only attack something next to you, which means it would be a disadvantage. If I'm fast, I channel fire. If I'm slow, I channel ice. And then bottom half of the card, I move 4, only 3 if I'm slow. All adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage. When am I finding out why I'm dealing 1 damage to things? Bottom half of the card also says lose a time token to push everything around me 3. And I guess I can do that fast or slow. Cool. Okay. Seems like a card. I guess we can channel a lot of different elements. So one thing that's going to influence what cards we take is what the other people in our party want in the way of elements. Because kinetic transfer seems like it would be, I mean, it's probably going to make the cut because I only get to cut 3 cards from here, but it seems like it would be a lot better if I wanted to channel fire or frost, right? Whereas if I don't want them, it's a much less good card. And I don't think this character actually consumes the elements. I think we just sometimes make them. Hit and run. Hit for 3, immobilize. If we're slow, it only hits for 2. If we're fast, we get to hit for 3 and then move away and gain an experience. On your next 5 attack actions while fast, perform a move for 3 at the end of the action. Okay. I am a bit concerned that this character has no survivability and is a melee attacker, and like moving in and out over and over again isn't actually a reliable way to deal damage. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. I'll probably have to build as an off tank, like build defensive items to some extent. I'm going to loot one card, which moves us if we're fast, and the bottom half of it. Oh, okay, cool. We got a bottom half attack card. So yeah, that's going to be a staple. Always nice to have the ability to attack with the bottom half of a card. Tap speed. We've got a little cone attack. It's for 2. If we're fast, it hits for 3 with advantage. Bottom half of the card, immobilize someone within 1 range or 2 more targets. If we're fast, ignore the slow effects of your other actions this turn. Okay. Feels like a pretty standard card then. Yeah, I mean, this card also seems great. Sand in the Hourglass. If we're fast, we wound something within 1 range. All enemies that have wounds suffer 2 damage. Again, will I ever find a reason why dealing very small amounts of damage to enemies matters? We turn sun into dark or dark into sun. Is that mandatory? It's not mandatory, it's voluntary, I believe. There's no exclamation mark by it. Yeah, I think that's voluntary. Bottom half of the card, heal everyone within 1 range for 2. That seems good. At the end of your turn, if we use a time token, at the end of your turn, play 1 card from your hand to immediately perform the top or bottom action of the card. Oh. I can play 3 cards in 1 turn. Well, that is interesting. This feels... Is it good? I wonder if it's good. I do like that I have these heals that are AoE, because that does feel like it'll help with the thing where I'm melee. We're going to want a big ball of people in this party, perhaps. Overdrive. Gain a shield while slow, or add jump to your move abilities while fast. Okay. This is a card that gets lost when played. I think it's the only one I've seen so far that's like a persistent power. Probably playing this on turn 1 is going to be quite good quite often. Yeah, actually in this party, especially with 4 characters, like jumping on my move abilities when I'm fast is going to be good, I think. Bottom half of the card, if I ever played it, instead of just going for the persistent, is muddle everyone within 2 range or 3 range if we're slow. All your attacks targeting enemies that have muddle are unaffected by retaliate this round. If we're fast. Okay, cool. Drive Recharge gains me 2 fast tokens and gives me a ward and a bless and is lost. Alternately, I can heal myself for 2, and if I'm slow, it adds a regen. Okay. That seems like a pretty cool character. There's a lot of like individual complexity in the cards, but I feel overall like the play pattern of the character is approachable. We don't have much in the way of ranged attacks. Like, we're going to want to move in and melee attack things, and we're going to want ways to do that without taking a lot of damage back. And it looks like after we like get in there and do some damage, we're going to want to like fall back from the front line and heal a little bit, basically, and get our fast tokens back and then go do some stuff with fast tokens again. Sample first 5 turns, since I get to start with 10 cards. Maybe turn 1 we go for Overdrive and as a slow ability. And what would the bottom half of the card be if I was going slow? Could just be some sort of move. We don't want to burn a card on turn 1. Don't want to immobilize ourselves. All allies had +1 to their move abilities this round. Could be that. maybe? So we make it so our allies move faster and we get into overdrive. Then on turn 2, we're going to want to move fast. We're going to want to move in to attack somehow. Like maybe with cascading reactions, since the top half of this card gets lost. And then we are going to want to hit some people for some damage. And go power leak. I see the problem though. Like we're gonna want to move away afterwards, right? So maybe instead we have to go Twin Strike. This way I can attack and then move and then attack again. I don't know. Maybe we do go power leak. Okay, so we're poisoning ourselves. Ouch. On turn 3, now we're like in the front line. We've just somehow survived an entire round of attacks. We're probably pretty low health, so we want to go fast again. And we want to do some sort of like attack that lets us leave. Then with the bottom half of the card, it would be nice to start healing. Maybe we do this. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I want to like move in with a slower card when I'm fast. But I don't have a slow card with good move on it. Sorry. I don't have a high initiative card which moves me a long way when I'm fast. That's what I'm saying. Like the best I can do is 36. Guess I could do this. So we like use. Sorry, I'm still trying to work out what my move card is. Maybe we move in with Sand in the Hourglass, and then we use kinetic transfer. All right, like this. So we move in, all adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage, and then we wound everything, and all enemies that have wounds suffer 2 damage. And then the next turn, we can attack, and then we can run out, and we can heal ourselves, or something like that. And I have like random other stuff. I technically am still fast the next turn, so I could maybe, well, I don't have to be fast the next turn, but I probably will be. Wait, no. I actually can't be fast the next turn. Next turn I'm slow. So we go like this. What cards are good to play when I'm slow? This one's okay. This feels like the one that is the most okay to be playing when I'm slow. And then we go like Twin Strike, fast, and bottom half of Blurry Jab or something. Oh, bottom half of Temporal Displacement, maybe. That is a sample 10 card. 10 card, 5 turns. And these cards didn't make the cut. What are these cards? Do I not like them? I mean, they seem pretty good. Okay. Okay. I get a perk because, oh, also I get a name. My name is going to be Pinky. Pinky seems like a nice name. Masteries declare fast for 7 consecutive rounds, never be targeted by an attack. Do you think I could do both of those next mission? Those sound not that hard to do. Oh, maybe actually 7 rounds of fast in a row is impossible with my current cards. I was thinking I have one card that lets me gain 2 fast tokens, right? But it's gone after I do that. Also, I don't even see where it is. I mean, I thought I had it. Maybe I deleted it or something accidentally. Okay, never be targeted by an attack could be doable though. Whenever you would gain a mobilize, prevent the condition. At the start of your first turn each scenario, you will perform a move of 3. Whenever you short rest, you may spend 1 unspent tap item for no effect to reclaim a different spent item. Ooh, okay. So I get to abuse items that get spent a little bit. That could be really strong with my trapper. I think that might be really strong with my trapper. I have a trapper in the party, and I have found those boots that let me run over a trap and apply its effect to an enemy. Let's recall all the cards and then put them all out again. This is going to be such a long, this is an obscenely long town phase. I personally love it. Apologize if you do not. Boots of Transference. When you spring a trap by entering its hex, you may apply its effect to a figure within 3 range instead of yourself. So my idea was, what if I just like have these? There's a Blinking Cape. Blinking Cape's probably pretty good for this character. Yeah, I'm gonna like buy the purple items because they all seem broken. It's just a matter of like who buys which one. Okay, I won't decide on perks or items just yet. Let's take a look at the other characters and get a sense for what they're doing. First, though, personal quest for Binky, our Blinkblade. Easter Outpost. Frosthaven is not such an obscure place as it once was. It seems stories of the strange occurrences and fantastic creatures have reached far and wide. And there are certain parties interested in founding research outposts in the region, reasoning there is knowledge to be found. Now it's just up to you to do the legwork. Immediately unlock a strong foundation and follow it to a conclusion. That kind of feels like a thing this character would care about. I believe the blurb said that we cared about like proving that we were smart or something. Plus we just heard about a Quattro library. Prepared for the worst. These fools don't see it coming. Sure, there are guards on the walls, but it's not enough. It's never enough. You've seen the unequivocal brutality of the world, and these children clearly haven't, at least not the full extent of it. The only thing you can do is always be prepared for the absolute worst. You'll teach them one way or another. Purchase 5 enhancements. Yeah, that just seems really hard to do. Let's go for the Eastern Outpost. Immediately unlock a strong foundation, 65, and follow it to its conclusion. Seems like the way to do it. Oh, that's where we put them in completed. Deal. Okay. Unlock scenario 65. So if we do one of these, we have to wait for some sort of calendar event to do the next one. So I might as well just like start with that. That could be our next mission. Seems okay to me. Okay, let's talk about the next character. I have unlocked the Geminate. Both of these, by the way, are starter characters. They have been unlocked since the absolute start of the game. Oh, it's a Harrower. Cool. That said, I have not read this character before. A Harrower is not one single life form, but rather a swarm of thousands of insects gathered to form a hive mind intelligence. Their existence, in fact, predates all other sentient life, going back to the volatile early ages of the world. They've always maintained their distance from the operations of humans and other species, concerning themselves with their own disparate machinations. When harrowers do interact with others, they shape their swarms into a form vaguely similar to the other party so as to minimize their discomfort. Not all harrowers, however, act as a single unit. Rarely, a swarm develops in such a way that they cannot come to a single mind. Instead, they settle into a stable equilibrium of two wills, which compete to exert influence over their collective form. The geminate, as the phenomenon is called, will work in harmony to shift between two wildly different configurations, each with their own abilities and desires. Also complexity 5. Elemental affinity for fire, frost, and light. Good at melee and ranged. I mean, it just seems better at everything than the Blink Blade, honestly. By the ratings. I mean, can we look at that actually? Do the math. Okay, this is meant to be really good at melee and mobility. 12, 14, 15, 16, 18. 18 pips total. How many does this have? 10, 13, 15, 18, 21. Yeah, so like, according to this, this character just has more stats than the other character, but whatever. You can shift between two different forms, melee and ranged. During card selection, you can only play cards from your current form. Shown next to the initiative of each card, the something something symbols force you to switch from one form to the other, following the white arrow. At the end of the turn in which an action with that symbol is performed, only one switch symbol can be triggered each turn. Switching forms is not an ability, and you must perform an ability on the action to trigger it. You may start each scenario in either form. You must either be able to rest or play two cards from your current form at the start of each round, otherwise you become exhausted. You have a single discard and lost pile for all cards as normal, and when you rest, recover all discarded cards from both forms. You may also switch forms during long rests. Many of your abilities allow you to target enemies at precise ranges. Whenever you perform an area of effect ability with a precise range, you may only target enemies which are both in the area of effect and at the listed range. Which are both in the area of effect and at the listed range. Okay, I understand what that means. It means if I'm like shooting a line attack targeted at something 4 range away and it can hit something that is 4 or 5 range away, I can only hit something that's 5 range away as well as it. I can't hit something that's 3 range away as well as it. Makes sense? Arcane, Chaotic, Nimble. Okay, so I guess we have 17 cards to look at. I want to look at this yet. I guess it's fine to have these face up. That's a lot of cards. Okay, reshape the guys. Which form is this? Does it say? Loot and heal self. During your short rests, you may choose which discarded card to lose instead of losing a discarded card at random, and you may switch forms. There's a persistent card. And it channels Sun for me, okay? Smoldering Hatred. It's for 2 at range 4 or 5. If I muddle myself, it deals 2 more damage. If I curse myself, it hits in a line. Okay. Cool. Bottom half of the card immobilizes 2 targets next to me, and then I move 4 with jump. And that burns. Okay. Hail of Thorns. I hit all targets within 2 range. No. Sorry, what? I hit all targets within 2 range for 2 damage and muddle them. And I also muddle all allies within 2 range, and I channel Frost, and I burn the card. Okay, that's a lot. Bottom half, I move 3, and if I have light channeled, is this light or sun? Light. If I have light channeled, I can wound something next to me after my move. Cool. Selfless Offering. I heal an ally within 3 range for 3. If I have fire, I can consume it to add regen to that. Bottom half of the card. Oh, I see. The right side of it. So this is on the right side. Okay. But this is moving me to the left side then. I move and move to the left side. I'm not sure if left side is melee or range. I guess right side is range, it looks like. So left side must be melee. Whenever you kill 1 or more enemies during your turn, you may switch forms or ignore any switch form icons at the end of this turn. All adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage. Okay. Deal 2 damage. If you do not have a wound, gain a wound to add disarm. If you do not have poison, gain poison to add 2 more damage. Bottom half of the card hits for 4, consumes frost or light to stun, and burns. I start with 14 cards, but it seems like they're kind of a little bit weaker cards. Our next 4 attacks add +1 damage if you are in melee, or +2 damage if you're in ranged. I think the right side is ranged. So you want to play this and then swap to the other form to get +2 damage. But yeah, compare that to the Drifter's card, which just always is giving you +2 damage and does it 6 times. So this is... we are definitely getting weaker cards to make up for the fact that we have a starting hand size of 14, which is a huge starting hand size in fairness. So that's probably why. Drag down. That is an interesting attack shape. Okay, so like some sort of AoE. That, honestly, I feel like you can probably hit 3 enemies with that pretty frequently in this game. Bottom half of the card jumps 4 and disarms 2 targets next to me, but then burns. Whoa. Okay, cool. I wonder, are those enhancement marks? I think those might be enhancement marks, so you can add more hexes to the card. Yeah, they definitely are. Awesome. Flaming Tendrils hits for 1. I can consume light to make it hit for 2, and it confuses everyone. All allies in the red hexes of the attack ability also get confused, though. Bottom half of the card wounds everyone within 2 range, including all allies, and channels fire, and is lost. I seem to have some wound synergy going on, so making sure I have some way to heal characters is probably a good idea here in this party. Changeling's Boon. Oh. Just attack twice. Straightforward. I like it. Bottom half of the card, at the end of each of your turns, you may change an element into fire or light. Also, you plus yourself. And then you change to ranged. Yeah, that seems like a strong card. That definitely makes the cut. Hornet's Stingers. Okay. 1 damage, pierce 3 and poison. All allies in the red hexes, the attack ability, also get poisoned. So this character feels like they want to be away from the rest of the team, but they have 8 health, and I haven't seen a defensive card yet, really. I guess Hornbeetle Carapace is a defensive card, actually. Move and get 2 shield. Yeah. So this is like our solo tank, kinda. Is the vibe that I am getting. All attacks targeting you this round gain disadvantage. That's another tanky card. Okay, cool. Starting to understand. Oh, but then also we have a ranged mode. So we get in there, do some tanking, and then we run away. Draining Pincers. Hits for 3 with advantage with light. 3 in a row. Bottom half of the card jumps 3 and changes form. Okay. Into my Embrace. 3 damage at 3 or 4 range, and it will push 2 and change me into left form, melee. Bottom half, heal self for 4 and regen, and I can strengthen myself if I have fire or light, but that burns the card. Firefly Swarm, deal 3 or 4 with fire, AoE. Icebound Quills, this is so many cards. 17 cards. Hits for 5 with 1 pierce, or 6 with 2 pierce with frost. Bottom half of the card is what Prudent Preparation does. That's the top half of Prudent Preparation, actually. The bottom half of that. And it's 14 initiative, which is the same. Prudent Preparation is the Drifter card that I was kind of a fan of. I wonder how I feel about having the bottom half of it be that, though. Scarab Fight. 2 damage, only 3 or 4 range, and we push 1. Flight, not fight. The next 4 sources of damage from attacks targeting you gain a shield if you are in ranged, or 2 shield if you are in melee. Okay, so we can get really tanky for a bit. This feels like our party's most compelling tank, maybe, because I don't think the Frost Dancer or the Trap Setter will be great tanks. Mind Spike hits 3 targets at 4 or 5 range. All targets have the immobilize ability suffer 1 damage. Or 2 damage with light. That burns the card? Wow. Bottom half of this card deals 2 damage at 3 or 4 range and swaps forms. Okay. Wow, this is going to be a lot to like kind of keep up with as I'm going. Why is there an odd number of cards? 18? I start with 14. Are there 4 X cards then? 1, 2. Why did I say odd number of cards, by the way? Even number of cards. Yeah, there are 4 X cards. Okay. What's this? Harvest the Essence. I get a ward. At the end of each of your turns, you may turn an element into frost or light. And I change into melee form. Oh, or it's Vile Assault. Move 2 and heal self 2. That's a pretty good card. Can I have 2 of these? There was another one. At the end of each of your turns, you may turn an element into fire or light. Okay. So I seem to generally like light, and if I'm in ranged, I also like fire, and if I'm in melee, I also like frost. But I like always enjoy light. Cool. Let's take a look at our perks real quick. When you perform an action with a lost icon, you may discard 1 card to reclaim a card from your discard pile of equal or lower level. Huh. Okay. Once each scenario, when you give yourself a negative condition prevented. When you short rest, you may remove 1 negative condition from an ally within 3. Ignore scenario effects. Add a regen on self and redraw a card. This seems kind of nice to deal with all of the bad effects I'm giving to myself. A crit and make self brittle card. Wow, so you could like combo these two. Once each scenario, when you give yourself a negative condition, prevent the condition, and then have this, so you can get an extra crit. Add 2 + 1 and push 3 cards. Replace 2 + 0 cards with 2 pierce 3 and redraw cards. Replace a +0 with a +1 and wound card. +0 with a +1 and poison card. That might be important. I don't have any poison in my team yet, and poison's kind of important, I think. Oh my god, they get 2 different names. Oh my god, that's so cool. Turn a -1 into a +0 and turn any element into any other element card. That's pretty cool. That's a really cool character. Yeah, that's awesome. What's the personal quest? Did I shuffle? I think so. Life lessons. Life is all about the experience. It is fleeting and really only meaningful on a very small scale to you and those in your immediate surroundings. The best thing you can do with your life is just go out and experience as much as possible. Have fun, find adventure, and maybe get a little blood on your face. Gain 150 experience from ability cards. I imagine that means play like 16, 17, 18 missions. Or Battle Legend. It's time you made a name for yourself. Any mercenary can go out and get the job done, but you are not just any mercenary. You want to do it in style. You want the stories of your battles to be told by the bards in taverns across the known world. If you don't leave behind a legend after you're gone, then what was the point of living? I'm going to go for life lessons, I think. I mean, I will want to complete this quest at some point. It's going to be a slightly longer quest to do, and I kind of like this character. I think it'll be really fun to play. So we'll go for that. I get to start with 1 perk, and by, sorry, is it 30 plus 10 per prosperity? 10 times prosperity plus 20. Okay, so prosperity is 2 right now. I have 40 gold to buy items with, but then I immediately lose all of this gold if I don't buy the items now. So, something to keep in mind. Okay, the next one I unlocked was the Snow Dancer. Algox, our home in the north. Ranged support, defense, control. Oh, cool. Oh, this looks pretty sweet. Complexity 1 as well. I appreciate that. And Frost Element, so combos with my Geminate as a tank. Really nice. Algox are at home in the north. Their thick white fur offers great protection from the elements, and their strength and intelligence put them at the top of the food chain. They're imposing figures with 3 spiraling horns atop their head. This feature they share with their distant relatives, the Inox. Like their cousins, the Algox gather in clans, but these are split following one of 2 rival ideologies: the Snow Speakers, who believe the Divine speaks to them through the falling snow, and the Ice Speakers, who instead look to the ice growing up from the cold earth. The most adept priests of the Snow Speakers are those that move with the winds and snow, using it to make others dance as well, often against their will. It is a breathtakingly beautiful sight, watching these snow dancers harness the raw power of their movement to bring forth the elements of the north. Their enemies soon find themselves sapped of all warmth as the wind beats them into a snowy grave. You have access to a variety of persistent bonuses which allow you to focus your playstyle. Your large hand size enables you to perform one or more of them each scenario. 11 cards is a large hand size? That is definitely like on the lower end of what I've seen. While you do not inflict as much damage as other classes with attacks, you can help your allies by healing, applying positive conditions, and manipulating enemy positioning. Using forced movement abilities to move your enemies exactly where your party wants them or into the hazardous terrain you can create. At scenario level 3, right? 4. 3. Now I play scenario level 3, so my hazardous terrain deals 2 damage. Okay. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen enemies take damage from hazardous terrain before. Alright, let's take a look at these. Chilling Impact. At the start of each of your turns, you may consume frost. If you do, at the end of each of your forced movement abilities performed this turn, all enemies moved to the ability suffer 1 damage. Cool. Only if I have frost though. Or a move for 2 and push 2 all within 1 range. Nature's Breath, summon a Snow Fox. The summon is considered to be last in initiative order when determining monster focus. Okay, so we have a summon who maybe doesn't die. That's kind of nice. I don't have any other summons on the other 2 characters so far, so yeah, getting a summon out there could be good. Frigid Growth. Create one 1-hex hazardous terrain tile and a featureless hex within 3 range, and strengthen an ally adjacent to that hex, and channel Frost. Or bottom half of the card, move and channel Frost. I'm going to have to read what hazardous terrain does. Let's go do that real quick. It said in here, hazardous terrain is on page 14. If any figure enters a hazardous terrain hex except when flying or jumping, that figure suffers damage equal to 1 plus 1/3 of the scenario level, rounded up. Unlike trap tiles, hazardous terrain tiles are not removed after their effect is applied. Instead, they remain on the map indefinitely. Figures do not suffer additional damage when starting a turn in a hazardous terrain tile or exiting a hazardous terrain hex. So it's only when you move into it you take some damage. Okay. I don't know how like appealing it is to make the map hit me. I mean, obviously it also hits the enemies, right? But like, grant an ally a move and attack for 3? Yeah, that's just a pretty good card. Bottom half, push 3 an ally or enemy within 4 range, and then move 3. This is a great card. Alright, that's awesome. Snowball, heal for 2, and regen. Channels Frost again. On your next 5 attacks, add plus X damage, where X is the number of use slots the character took has passed. 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Cool. It's for 10. Generally, when I'm looking at how much I'm dealing with a card that I lose with a persistent effect, I'm hoping for a bit more than 10, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's okay. Enticing Breeze. Hit something within 3 range for 1 and pull it toward one of your allies. Cool. Whiteout. We hit 3 targets within 4 range for 2, and then we make them all move 1. Really cool. Okay. Can see all sorts of ways that could be useful, in particular with my hazardous techs, I guess. Or move 3 and heal somebody for 2. This is a healer. We like healers. We like healers because we have 2 characters who give themselves a bunch of negative statuses, and the heal will remove those. Blizzard. Blizzard hits for 2. This is a huge AoE. You know, I remember the Snow Dancer casting this ability when I was fighting her. Okay, Muddle, Channel, Snow, and Air. I mean, it wasn't exactly this ability, but something like it. Or move 3 and push something next to me too. We're already into X cards. Did I shuffle them? Maybe. The Spirit's Call. It's for 2 at 3 range, and I can consume Air to make it deal 1 more damage and curse. I think that's pretty good. Curses are great. The question is, how do I channel Air in this party? Because I can't really rely on Blizzard. Yeah, that's going to be the struggle. Bottom half, push 4 all allies within 3 range and bless them. I'm confused. What is the flavor of this card? I am pushing my allies away from me with the Spirit's Call? Isn't that backwards? Oh my god, look at that. What does that do? How could anyone know? We attack. With Air, we add 1 damage. And then we push. Huh. I've been in scenarios where that would have hit almost 7 enemies, probably. So there are definitely situations where it's good. Heal for 2, and if an ally was the target of the heal ability, granted a move for 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, some nice support cards here. At the end of each of your turns, you may channel Frost or Air. Okay, I guess that's how we get it. Reduce all of your push, pull, and other forced movement effects by 1. Oh. Okay, that's a little bit less exciting. Loot 1 and gain advantage on your next attack this round. Probably goes in my deck for that half of the card, and sometimes I will want the top half as well. I might just usually want the top half. I don't know. I'm not that impressed by the pushing and pulling that I'm seeing. Although I have the Trapper, so once we see what the Trapper's cards are, I might change my mind. If the traps feel like they do enough damage to be worth working out how to get enemies to stand on them, then, like, yeah, having the ability to push and pull enemies is obviously going to be great. Blinding Vortex. 6 enemies, we lose the card. We hit for potentially, I mean, I think it's reasonable to think this card hits everything for 4. It's a pretty big hit. Bottom half of the card is a move 3 and jump again. Cold Therapy. 1 damage, target in 3 range and muddle them. If we use Frost, it deals 3. For every 2 turns, you may consume Frost or Wind to heal someone within 2 range for 2. Kind of a low number. Kind of a low number. Just thinking about the banner, which healed everyone within 3 range of it for 1 at the start of every single one of their turns on my banner spear, and how I, like, played it twice and it wasn't good third time. Yeah. I don't know about that one. Lifting Gust. Hit for 1, something at 3 range and push it to 4. Bottom half of the card, jump 8. Big number. Okay, cool. Yeah, character doesn't feel broken. It just feels like my numbers are really small. We will see, I suppose, but at the moment, it really feels like these are small numbers. What are my perks? Turn a -1 into a +0 and heal an ally. Okay. I mean, how many times do I draw attack modifiers, though? When you long rest, you may make frost and wind cards. +0 on immobilize. There are so many missions where immobilizing enemies just isn't good enough. Like, you just have to kill them. And those seem like they're the hard missions, too. The missions where you can, like, win by immobilizing enemies, it's like, okay, great, congratulations. Like, you're just the best. Well done. It's the missions where, like, you have to deal 180 damage to a Chaos Demon or something, where I feel like I've been struggling. What's the name of the princess from Frozen? Is it Fiona? Is that right? Is that the name of the princess from Shrek? I think so. We're gonna go with Fiona. Replace 2+0 cards with 2. If this action forces the target to move, it suffers 1 damage and redraw cards. God, I'm so good at dealing 1 damage to things. I just don't think 1 damages very much. I missed my Banner of Strength. My Banner of Strength made every attack. Deal 1 more damage always, forever. Replace a +0 card with a +1 and strengthen an ally card. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I actually like that quite a lot. Add a heal and ward 1 ally and redraw card. That seems pretty good. Whenever you long rest, you may do a thing. Whenever you short rest, you may do a different thing. At the start of each scenario, all enemies gain muddle. Whenever a new room is revealed, all enemies in the newly revealed room gain muddle. I like that a lot. I think probably I start by just getting this as quickly as possible. That seems great. That's gonna save, like... I don't know, it's probably gonna save like 5 health pretty regularly over the course of a mission. And sometimes like way more. And all of these other things that are here are not going to be worth 5 health. I don't think. Like the attack modifier deck cards, I don't even draw them every mission. On average, I probably draw them once every other mission or something. I guess it is 2 check marks. Cause at least 1 ally or enemy to move each round. Seems doable. Ensure the first ally to suffer damage each round directly before suffering the damage has at least 1 condition you applied. What on earth? Why is that a mastery? The conditions I apply are like regen? I can ward. Huh. Well, if I'm ever in a mission where no allies take any damage, I guess I complete that mission. Will that happen? Probably not. Okay. My Frost Dancer, Snow Dancer. A little bit concerned about the numbers just not being that high. Doesn't feel super broken in any way. I will have to think about how to equip it though, and maybe we can work something out. Okay. Trapper. Trapper. Vermling's small stature makes the cold climate of the north particularly inhospitable, but when forced to choose between the harsh elements and the constant harassment of human settlers in the south, some clans have decided to risk the snow and ice. Many have found homes near Frosthaven, mostly in the Radiant Forest, which is always unseasonably warm. Malevolent forces, however, have begun to push the Vermlings out of this forest as well, once again leaving them scrambling for survival. A major part of survival is hunting for food and hides to keep warm, and trappers have always been good at that, giving them a strong edge in the unforgiving wilds. They've grown quite adept at not only laying a variety of snares, but also luring their prey into the deadly traps. Quick on their feet and with jaws of metal never in short supply, trappers are prepared to bring down any quarry. Complexity 4. No elemental affinities. Your job is straightforward. Set traps and make your enemies spring them. You have many tools to help with this, including the ability to remove flying from enemies. Note the difference between springing a trap, which will cause its effects to trigger, and destroying a trap, which does not. Oh. You also have beneficial traps, which will provide healing and positive conditions to whomever springs them, including yourself or monsters. Monsters will still treat beneficial traps as negative hexes, however, and avoid as many as possible. One trap can have both positive and negative effects, and when sprung, you choose the order in which the effects are applied. You're not limited in the number of traps you can create, so if you run out of your own trap tiles, use suitable replacements. Okay. Very low health. Very low hand size. Only a 9-card hand size. So 4-4, 3-3, 2-2, 1-1. So even if I never lost a card, that's only 20 turns. And I'm like low health, so losing cards can happen. Improvised improvement, replace an adjacent trap with a 5 damage and wound trap. Move, create a bless trap in an adjacent empty hex. Whenever you or an ally springs a trap during a movement ability, add +2 and jump to that move ability. See, I don't really know how I can use a persistent card when I have a hand size of 9. I'll just exhaust. Place a character token on an enemy with flying within 3 range. That enemy no longer has flying. When the enemy dies, discard this card. Okay. Increase the damage or heal value of up to 2 traps you move through by 1. Ooh. In the missions where we're like fighting in the same room, this character feels like it'll be really good. 3 damage and push 2. Yeah, that's just like a pretty okay card. Decent numbers. Exploding Decay. Deal 2 damage at 4 range. Pull 2. Designate the hex you are occupying and perform. Move 3. If the designated hex is empty, create 1 2 damage trap in that hex regardless of line of sight. Honeypot. Loot 1. You may choose to not collect any number of loot tokens with this ability. For each empty hex with a loot token you did not collect, create 1 2 damage trap in that hex. Move 3, create a 2 healing trap in an adjacent empty hex. This is going to get unreasonable, the amount of stuff that's on the board. Create a 3 damage and immobilize trap in an empty hex within 2 range. Relocate up to 2 traps within 2 range to empty hexes within 4 range. Interesting. So we can move our traps around, kind of like the shadows for Deathwalker. Create a 4 damage trap in an empty hex within 2 range. I like 4 damage. Yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. How do I spring traps? Summon Shaggy Lure. Heals for 2, doesn't move, or it has 2 health, it doesn't move or attack, but it pulls things toward it at the end of turn. Oh, that's cool. It's also a top half of card move and a way to become invisible. Invisible's cool as well. I have to recap on the rules for invisible, but basically it makes it so enemies can't target you, is my understanding. They can still hit you with other things, though. Caltrops. Create 2 1 damage traps in empty hexes on 2 range. Remove 5. There are very few cards here that let you burn them, actually. They're all very reusable. Create a 4 healing trap in an adjacent empty hex. Bottom half, muddle all enemies within 3 range and make them all move 2. Ooh, that's cool. Loses the card, though. Create 3 2 damage and stun traps in empty hexes within 2 range, but loses the card. Create a strengthen trap in an adjacent empty hex. Destroy 1 adjacent trap to perform attack for X at 3 range, where X is the damage value of the destroyed trap. Also add all conditions of the destroyed trap to the attack. Or destroy an adjacent trap. Move 3. Add the effects of the destroyed trap to an adjacent trap. Wait, I'm confused. Why? When sprung. Traps 14. I thought traps. A trap is sprung when any figure enters its hex except when flying. When a trap is sprung, it applies some effect to the figure who sprang it and is removed from the map. Yeah. So, what do you mean destroyed trap? What are you talking about? It says... Note the difference between springing a trap which will cause its effects to trigger and destroying a trap which does not. Oh, I see. So usually traps are sprung, which removes them from the map, but their effects trigger. Whereas here I'm destroying a trap, which doesn't make it trigger. Okay. So basically we have like slightly above average numbers, but the reason for that is that our attacks don't actually hit enemies. They make enemies move over them. On the other hand, if I may, enemies won't move over traps unless they have to. So something I can do with this is control enemy movement in a really big way. And like there are going to be situations where traps stop enemies from dealing damage because they won't walk over them to make a melee attack and will instead walk around, but then, you know, that requires them to move too far and stuff like that. So I think this has potential to be really cool and creative. I thought that you could like buff the traps, buff the traps, buff the traps, and that by springing what the game meant was the traps weren't removed. So you could like bring 2 traps with you and get them to a point where they were hitting enemies for 10 when they walked on them or something. But that's not actually the case. It would be probably a little much if it were, huh? I don't want to read those yet. It's funny. The beneficial traps also help the monsters, but the monsters don't want to step on them. Yeah, the beneficial traps also get removed. Okay, cool. What are my perks? Whenever you long rest, create a trap. Whenever you enter a hex with a trap, you may choose not to spring it. Create a trap in an adjacent hex at the start of each scenario. Yeah, those all seem really good. So probably start with either a 2 damage trap at the start of the scenario or enter a hex. The way that traps stop enemies from moving over that tile is kind of a big deal. Move enemies through 7 or more traps with 1 ability. What? What? Are you serious? Presumably an ability I haven't unlocked yet. Alright, cool. Both of those masteries seem very hard to do. 1 healing trap on the map with a value of at least 20. What are you even talking about? What? Destroy an adjacent trap and add the effects of the destroyed trap to an adjacent trap. So is the idea that I like create lots of healing traps and then use dismantle to put them on top of each other, or like what are you even talking about? I don't even know. All right, cool. I think having flying boots on a character would be really nice. That is a sense that I'm getting. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break and run to the bathroom, and I'll give this a pause and then come back.